Hi everyone, my name is Fabiana da Silva Boyce. Welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. I'm here today to talk about a topic that I think it's very important, which is fear, right? The reason why I started reflecting on it is because I had my students read an article and listen to a speech by Karen Walker, and the name of the article is What Fear Can Teach Us. So it really helped me reflect a lot on my fears, on my students' fears, my friends' fears, everybody's fears, right? So I think the first thing that we have to reflect on, that we can reflect on, is how fears can steal our dreams, right? How can they stop us from becoming the better version of ourselves or stopping us from being who we are? So I think that the most important thing to remember and to highlight is that, first of all of us are afraid. All of us have fears, right? We are afraid of so many different things. But the fear that I worry the most is the fear that stops us from achieving things that we would like to achieve. I was thinking, have you ever thought about how many times we procrastinate to do things that we know that must be done just because we are afraid of what others will think or what others will say? So it's because we are afraid, right? It's because we fear being judged. We fear getting out of our comfort zone. And let's be honest, it's not easy to make changes because we don't like failing. Who likes failure? Nobody, right? That makes me think about when we are in a classroom and the teacher or the professor asks a question and we know the answer, but we decide to remain quiet because we know that we have that anxiety that we may say the wrong thing and that people may look at us and may assume that we are asking silly questions when we know there's no such thing as silly, stupid questions, right? Every question is a question that is valid. That I know for sure because I'm a teacher. But it's funny how when I assume the place of a student, I have to constantly remind myself that making mistakes and failing is okay, right? So I'm gonna give a very clear example. I remember a friend of mine invited me to take some tennis classes that I would say like maybe 8 years ago. And at first I was like, oh, of course, this is gonna be so much fun, until I realized that it was a difficult thing to do. And to be really honest, I did not like whenever the teacher or the instructor was kind of like making fun of me, but to encourage me to do my best, right? So I remember when he used to say like, come on, teacher, what are you doing, teacher? So of course he was joking, but that made me reflect on how my students felt when they were in my classroom, and that I was like, come on, why don't you answer? I know that you know the answer, right? But it's so important for us to understand that when pressure is on us, it's different. We feel different, right? So when I was taking this tennis course, of course I thought about giving up and not going to the class so many times because I'm like, oh, I don't want this teacher to pick on me or call me so many times because I know I may get it wrong. So at that moment, I was afraid of failing. And it's important to understand that we are all afraid of failing, and that can stop us from achieving what we want to achieve, right? So in my case, it could stop me from learning how to play tennis better. And I'm not gonna lie, I improved a lot, but I'm not the best tennis player at all, right? But I was proud of myself that I did not allow that fear to stop me from going to the classes that I had paid for, right? And that was something I'm like, oh, I paid this class, so I'd rather just go and face it, right? Even if I'm not good at it, I will still do it. So I would say that my advice for today is to first remember that everybody is afraid of something, and that is true. So I think I would say also something to remember is that we are wired, our brains are wired to fear something. And that's why when we go to tall buildings, or if you are at a top of a mountain, you just don't like go too close because you know that something can happen, right? And in that case, I think fear is good because you're protecting yourself. But I think it's important for us to not really allow fear to control us all the time, because it can stop us from getting out of our comfort zone, right? So if you are at a job for so many years and you're not happy there, it may stop you from getting out of your comfort zone because you are already used to the people that work there, that the place that you're driving to every day, the food, whatever it may be, right? So in that case, I do believe that facing your fear, or even better, taking baby steps to face your fear, can be something very beneficial, right? My advice for today is to remember that, first of all, everybody has fears. Number two, saying that we will overcome our fears with a recipe, I think it's crazy, right? So the best thing is to remember that if we decide to take actions and we try to not allow our fears control our actions, I believe that that's a good advice right there, right? So number one, I would say make sure that you know what they are. Number two, I would say try to reprogram your brain or your thoughts by thinking that you can take actions. Number three, I would say make sure that you have baby steps actions, right? Because when I think about, if a person is afraid of speaking in public, there's no way that the person on the following day will simply get a microphone, right, and start speaking. But if that person is aware that, okay, I'm afraid of speaking in public, if I start asking questions, if I am in a class, that's a baby step action right there. So I think one way that we can overcome our fear is being aware of what our fears are, and make sure that we take actions, right? So if you are in a relationship that you know you're not happy anymore and you feel trapped, but you know that you are in your comfort zone, you're never gonna get out because it's comfortable, you have everything there, you have to start thinking, you should start thinking, what can I do so that I can take an action here, right? Or if you are in a job and you know that you are very unhappy, you have to at least take baby steps, like trying to update your resume, right? The job's not gonna come and hunt you. You have to at least know what's out there so that you can take the action that you need to transform your fear, right? And so those are my pieces of advice for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So if you like this video, please comment below. Let me know if you guys have ever faced a situation that fear stopped you from achieving something big. Or let me know if you agree that taking baby steps is a better way for us to overcome our fears, instead of like, oh, be fearless. There's no way you can be fearless. We are wired with fear, right? For our own benefit. And that's it. Have a wonderful day. Have a fabulous day. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye, everyone.